Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time here. As you can see behind me, we're going to talk about building an item system today. Now, again, in the interest of time, I am not going to walk through all the crafting recipes for everything that you're going to see here. No, that is not necessary since all of you know how to use NEI, don't you? I'm pretty sure you do. But you know how this, I think most of you probably know how this works. It's a pretty nifty little item system. I can right click on this request pipe here and oh, looky here, I have some items in my system. I'm just going to request that one and maybe 3 of those and we'll call that good. And I already received the one. There we go. The other little pile there pops up and I have them in my hotbar. I'm going to go ahead and dump them now in this little chest down here and watch as they disappear. Oh, there we go. See, they travel down the pipes. They go into these chests right here. Now, this is a simple item system. I'm not going to get into all the specifics of something more complicated. All you guys really need to start out with is a system to store items in chests, and you can expand this. You can have more chests and be able to retrieve them from, a routed request pipe like this. And yes, you can have multiples of these as well. So, just the basics today. Let's start by requesting everything in this system. As you can see, best way to do that is just to select it and click all and submit. There we go. I really love these item systems. They're really cool. Okay, there are, and again, you can upgrade these and do cool things, but basically, this is going to do the job for most people. All right, there are 4 different types of pipes that you're going to need to make. And those are right here, the routed request pipe, the routed interface pipe, the routed junction pipe, and the item transport pipe. You will make them in reverse order. So you're going to start with the item transport pipe, then the routed junction pipe, then the routed interface pipe, and then the routed request pipe. You'll notice that some of these actually require earlier ones in order to be made, crafted. So what you're going to start with is setting up your chests. You probably already have these and they're probably already full, like mine in my Let's Play world, if you have seen that. And you're going to start with these routed interface pipes. Why? Because these are the pipes that you need in order to interface with a chest. Now, I have tried, and sadly it doesn't work, to stick chests on all sides, or more than one side, really, of these things. They kind of do connect, but they only connect to one, really. And if you actually stick another chest on here, you'll notice these gold bands right here are pointed towards the chest that it's actually interacting with. So, yes, we have these here. Next pipe with which you need to be familiar. Obviously, you have just a standard item transport pipes, nothing complicated there. But this right here is a routed junction pipe. You must have this anytime you have a junction. So anytime you have more than one direction or one option for an incoming item to go, so if it's coming from here, it has 2 options. It can go 2 different ways. Your system will not work properly if you do not put a routed junction pipe in there. You simply must do it. Pay attention to that very carefully. You'll notice, of course, that right here, if we send items in here from the perspective of this little piece here, they can go in 2 directions. They can go into this chest or they can go up to this chest. Why then do we not need to worry about one of these here? Because it is... it sort of serves as a junction pipe in and of itself. It's just more advanced. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. But anywhere otherwise that you have a junction here, you need a routed junction pipe. Okay, let's move up to this end. There we go. As you can see, I have a routed interface pipe going into this chest, which is my dump chest, and basically I just dump everything in here that I don't want anymore, and it goes to the system, just kind of stores it in whatever chest it happens to come to that finds room, that has room. And then I have this, which is a routed request pipe. You've already seen this in action. Just right-click on it, and it'll bring up everything in the system. There's nothing in the system right now. Now, of course, when you dump things into the system initially, it'll take a little bit of time for them to travel along the pipe and get into the chest. If you pull this up too fast and you're not seeing what you just sent because you want to call it back or whatever, just hit repull and it'll double check the system for you. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, so you've got your system all set up, and yes, you can have more of these. You can have a gazillion of these chests. Just keep in mind, the longer this run is, the run from the chests to the request pipe up here, the longer it's going to take you to get your items. Again, you can upgrade these, but I'm not going to deal with that today. You guys can figure that out, and I'll give you a hint. You want to look up the router. I think it's the wireless router. I think that's what it's called. Use NEI. I should probably do that. Watch. Wireless. Yeah, I was wrong. Router. There we go. Router utility. And that's what you need to make, and you can upgrade your chips. Wait a minute. Chips? I haven't mentioned chips yet. No, that's correct. That is the next step. So you get your system all set up just like this. You've got your routed interface pipes. You've got your routed junction pipes. You've got your standard item transport pipes. You've got your dump box all set up, and you've got your dump chest, and you've got your routed request pipe. But it's not working. It's not showing anything in the system, and you put things in there yourself. Well, this is why. This routed interface pipe right here, as well as all of these routed interface pipes, require you to install chips before they will actually function properly. As you can see here, I have two different chips, and I'm going to explain what these are for and how to set them up. Whoop. Boy, I think my mouse is buggy. There we go. Okay, yes, I'm going to show you how to set them up. First of all, in order to make these, I'll just give you a heads up, you're going to need a lot of Illumar, and that is made with glowstone and dye. Alright, there we go. So we've got 3 different chips here, and we are going to need, you're going to need cyan, magenta, and orange, just as a heads up. So when you're traveling around your world, you find those cool colored trees, with stained leaves, collect them, farm them in your tree farm. You are going to need those saplings, unless you have a better source of cyan, magenta, and orange dye. Which most of us don't. Alright, so first up, let me start with the item extractor chip. That's the cyan one here. That goes only in the routed interface pipe that is attached to your dump chest. Why? Because this chip extracts items from your dump chest and sends them into your system. Just remember that. The extractor chip extracts items from the dump chest. That's important. Okay, in order to set this up, just make sure it's in your hotbar, make sure you have it in your hand, right-click, when you're not pointing at anything like that. Up in the sky is a good one. Right-click, and you'll notice you get this interface. Okay, we have orientation. You don't need to mess with that. Filter. Click on that one. You want to make sure that this is on blacklist. Items are blacklisted, and then you have nothing in there. Now, in the future, if you want to sort things in your item system, that's fine. You can start using these things, but for right now, your basic item system does not need this. Okay, filter mode. All items are blacklisted. I have metadata ignored. I have NBT ignored, or dictionary ignored. Not entirely sure, to be honest with you, exactly how much a difference that makes, but I just turn it on ignored because I want it to send everything, extract absolutely everything. Now, you get your extractor chip, and if you expand this, which you can, and you add another routed request pipe and another dump chest, maybe on a different level of your base or something, you can add multiples, that's fine. Let's say you install your extractor chip here, and I can do that simply by right-clicking with the extractor chip, and as you can see, it's all installed. So you install it, and you notice that you pop things in here, and they're not being extracted. Now this will be extracted because the other chips are still installed. I only pulled them from one chest. That would be because you need to add another chip to each of these routed interface pipes, and that chip is going to be this item responder chip. Why an item responder chip? By the way, setup is the same thing. Just same situation, make sure they're blacklisted. Okay, this is an item responder chip, and there are a bunch of chips, so you're going to want to remember these. Again, the item extractor chip extracts all the items that you put in your dump chest and sends it into the system. The item responder chip, it is called the item responder chip, is it not? Yes, item responder chip. Is basically each of these chests, it gives them the ability to respond to that dump chest and say, yes, I can accept whatever you have to send me. Okay? So again, because I personally got confused about this several times, let me make sure I repeat it a couple of times. Extractor chip goes in here and extracts the items from the dump chest. Responder chip goes in each of these routed interface pipes attached to your storage system chests and responds and says, yes, I can accept that. At that point, everything you pop into your dump chest will be able to go into your system. But that's not all. Right now, if I right click here, I will actually see that I have items in my item system. However, when you're first setting this up, you will not see that. Why? Because you don't have an item broadcaster chip. Broadcaster chip right there. Setup. You have a few more options. Ignore most of them. Just go with the filter. Again, filter mode is items are blacklisted. Hide nothing. What do you think the item broadcaster chip does? Just a wild guess here. Yes, it broadcasts to the request pipe what each chest has in its inventory. Again, you need one of these chips for each interface pipe that is connected to a chest in your system. So, item responder chip tells the dump chest, yes, I can accept everything you want to send me. Item broadcaster chip tells the request pipe that, yes, here's what I have, and here's how much of everything I have. So, this is the simple item setup, the simple item system setup. I'm going to just run through this one more time. You need your basic item transport pipes. You need to make sure that your routed junction pipes are in use anytime you have a junction. You need to make sure you have routed interface pipes to interface with all of your chests. You need 3 types of chips. What are they? We've got our item extractor chip to extract items from the dump chest and put them in the system. We've got our item responder chip to respond to the extractor chip and say, yes, I can receive everything from the dump chest. And we've got our item broadcaster chip to broadcast to the request pipe and say, here's what I have. Well, that took quite literally all day. As you can see, it's nighttime. Hopefully, though, I've managed to explain this simple item system in a way that will help you remember all of the details. Again, use NEI for the crafting recipes. You're going to need gold, you're going to need redstone, you're going to need Illumar in a few different colors, and etc. You're going to need some other things. But point is, just remember everything I repeated 2 or 3 times. It's because it can be confusing, and I know a lot of people get confused with those things. If you need to, don't be afraid to rewatch this video. Hope this was helpful, and until next time, happy crafting!